yourself lets us know that you can stand up for the people as well. So I feel that we needed that. I also have that you started running back in 2019, so it's not anything new to you. And so I'm happy to hear that. So I thank you so much for being able to stand up over here, like, yeah, like, don't be afraid, stand up against
Right.
them. So I thank you for that.
And I do have one follow-up question. I feel like every, everything in life that we do, like a test into a testimony, a trial into a triumph. What is your background as far as what got you to where you are today?
So I went to prison in 1991 for a strong arm robbery. One of them I did, but the one I went to jail for I didn't do. And I mean, this is back in 91. When I got out of prison, 3 months later, I got raided on a dope case. I got introduced to the dope game. And then I beat the dope case in a bench trial. I mean, I had already confessed to it, got into the law library, found a way to get the statement suppressed, and beat it in a bench trial. And at the time, from probably like 86, 1986, I was involved in the street gang, Gangster Disciples. Then once I got out of jail from the second, when I beat the dope case in the bench trial, I went to the law library for about 3.5 months and learned all I needed to know about drugs. And before you know it, I was like moving a half a key a week, was had a position in the gang at that time. But then it came out with a blueprint at the end of 94 from Gangster Disciple to Growth and Development. And that's really what turned me around, that blueprint. Because as I began to read it and look at myself in there, I'm like, I'm the one that's destroying my community. I'm part of the problem. Here's the chairman saying, I've been locked up for 20 years. A lot of y'all coming in and out the doors here. This ain't what, this is not what the life you want. You want to better yourself. And gave out a set of instructions and how to apply them. And I did. And so from there, that's what really turned my life totally around, back to that. But in all honesty, I grew up as an altar boy. I did sign language in the church. So I wasn't like new to going to church. I truly uh, knew, my relationship with the Creator, because I stayed on punishment as a kid. My stepmom is German, Caucasian though. So I had a different upbringing. I grew up with my father and my stepmom, and the only reason why I was able to get in the games because they split up when I was 12. So what got me to this is I'm gonna give my props to the Honorable Larry Hoover. The blueprint, and it talked about education, economics, politics, social development, organization, unity, and I'm a product of that blueprint, and I'm honored to be a part of that blueprint because so often society tells us who should be our leaders and who we should draw inspiration from. And for me, the way my father, Yahweh created an opportunity, it would always come from the least likely source, because the way God, his ways is not the ways of man. His God says he takes the foolish things of the world to confuse the wise, those who profess to be wise, I should say. Well, that's what turned it around for me, mate.
I
Wow,
like that.
thank you so much. Yeah, I love that.
You're gonna get hit. You're ready for that, right? They're gonna try to knock you over with these charges. Are you ready for that?
Well, I'm gonna stick to exactly what I believe. We're the Joshua generation. It's not me campaigning; it's we campaigning. And if we follow the scriptures and believe them for it being a history book as well as a prophetic book, then we would know that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Didn't say it ain't gonna form; they're just not gonna prosper. And I come from a background of history of brothers and sisters slaying Goliath, knocking down giants. So what am I worried about? Nothing. And I truly appreciate being so transparent with the background. And if I may just lead into the second question, what's my plan for mass incarceration? We really need somebody with experience, because so often you pass in legislation instead of getting to the root of it, which is slavery, because legislation is not law. We got to understand that legislation is under the color of law, which means it has the appearance of being law, but it's not. And that's the same thing with the enemy, our ignorance. It appears as an angel of light, but it's really not. It's a deception. And the only deception we know is that when the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy, he's the master of deception. And in my book, that's a man trying to be like a God, trying to be like a creator, trying to enslave other people. And so when we're talking about reducing mass incarceration, I'm bold enough to say by the time November 5th, 2024, our campaign will already be to reduce mass incarceration by 20% because we're attacking the legislation as being unconstitutional, and we're really here to set the captives free. And that's mass incarceration. That's really our blueprint. We ain't waiting. You don't got to elect me to do it because I've already been doing it. But we also need to understand that the mass incarceration just isn't those that are physically behind bars. It's a spiritual mass incarceration and it's a mental mass incarceration. So these individuals disguised as judges that are just administrative hearing officers, because judges just judge facts, facts. When two people come in with a dispute, that's a fact. Like Solomon, he was a judge. Two women came in with a situation. Solomon judged it because he was a judge, even though he was a king. When you put administrative, which is legislation, there's really no judge to do that. There's a bunch of rules, and you violated these rules, so you're guilty. That's unconstitutional. It violates Article 3, Section 2 of the United States Organic Constitution, where the people are sovereign. So we saying if you've been arrested for a drug case, you've been arrested for possession of a gun, anything that does not include an actual victim, we're declaring that's unconstitutional, a deprivation of rights under a color of law, and that goes to let our people go. So come on home, you know, you up out of there. And that's our plan to reduce mass incarceration on all forms, though. And we're just going to implement restorative justice, what comes back to our first love of being created, like from nature's God and the creator. Restorative justice is when there's something wrong in nature with the way it is. And we can see right now, this whole world is jacked up. It's wars, rumors, it's just is messed up. But when we deal with a restorative justice from an Aboriginal standpoint, the whole community suffers when something happens. The whole community suffers. So it's not like I'm punishing you. No, we want to correct the behavior and get it right so we can, inhabit the land together with each other. And so that's our platform, is under a restorative justice approach with still accountability. So you can't harm somebody or be a harm to yourself. There's an accountability to that, but not in a vengeance way, in a corrective way. The Lord disciplines those who he loves. And for those that ain't never heard no brother speak about his father and the creator in the scriptures this way, well, all aboard, baby, because we finna ride this one.
I know we are. And if they have not, then, and I'm over here, I'm super excited. And then I tell people, change the narrative. All right. Yes, I see Michelle Ormsby put that. Change the narrative. I'm excited because everything that you're saying, like honestly, I'm big on. I never would have known you even came in here spiritual because I'm standing up against a lot. You get what I'm saying in that,
I
but
do.
that's a big thing when and people don't understand that when you have on an armor, you can stand up against stuff, be so small. And it's like you're so mighty. Like even with you, you're standing up against something that most people would say. I had to even question you to say, hey, they're gonna come at you. You're like, oh, I'm ready for it because I know no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And I'm over here like, in no tongue that rises against you, every tongue that rises against you shall
Amen.
be condemned. So I'm over
For
here
sure.
like just rocking with you because when you believe that and when you have that fear on you, you've already won victory. You get what I'm saying? You won victory on a whole nother level. Like you said, I'm already out here fighting. Whether you elect me or not, I'm still going to stand here because I'm already doing what it is that I'm doing without the title. So I thank you for that. That's very big and chilling to me because people never know what position you're in. No matter the position you're in, you still have an opportunity to be used. You just got to believe in what you believe in, apply what it is that you got to apply because you have an opportunity to be used. We have someone right now sitting here saying, hey, I made it to a point to run for president. Do you know how big that is? Okay, I made it to a point to run for president. I'm running. I am in the race. No matter what you may think about me, I am in the race and I have already done the work prior to the race.
Right.
I'm happy for you. I'm over here like don't let's not have church, but I think like I thank you for the words it is that you spoke. And I'm here rooting for you. Like you say, I'm not standing behind you. I'm standing with you. Everything that you spoke on, I want to get involved in that too. I know Meg tackled that, but anything that I can help you with, anything involving change, I just want to let you know that I'm here as well. So don't forget Miss Holmes when it come down to out here making corrections, because I'm like, let's get this corruption up out of here, whatever we have to do.
Yes, I love it. That was such clarity to have, and the standpoint that you stand on is amazing. Or I'm definitely, I live on that verse as well, all weapons. And it's bigger than us, but you're driven by a purpose and a grace that's not led by you. It's led by a higher power. And so I'm very confident that you will definitely go far.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And to our last question that we did have for you, what is the People's Party exactly?
Uh, so it's We Are the People. That's the name of the party. We Are the People. And it's a faith based organization. In fact, it's the only faith based political organization that I believe ever existed. And the reason why is one, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence says, we the people. And that was already taken. So we just said we are the people because that's a more of an affirmative standpoint. It's giving us authority to say we are the people. And the reason why the party exists is saying in the Declaration of Independence, we the people have the right to alter, abolish, and form a new government, which our campaign is Vision for America, a new government. But on the faith-based side, in Second Chronicles 7:14, it says, if my people who are called by my name. So when you put we the people plus if my people in an equation, it equals we have the power. We the people have the power. What we've been doing is electing or participating in situations that the people don't have the necessary experience to represent we the people. And if they did, I don't believe we would be in the situation we are naturally. Spiritually, we're in the position because we turned our backs on our creator and broke the covenant that our ancestors did. But if we're taking history, Acts 7, verse 6 to 7, that 400 years of enslavement was up in 2019 because it was from 1619 to 2019, August 2019, which is the month I did my first campaign kickoff, because that was a day of freedom. Like it resembled, this is the written scriptures are saying, um it's we no longer enslaved. God is essentially the judgment, the time, the sentence has been served. And for me it was personal, so I knew August 2019, you know what, whoop the wop wop, I'm home. I'm free. But I had already been on the journey to be mentally free. So what we are the people is bringing all of the people together, uh, Caucasians, Asians, uh, whatever nationality you claim, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian. Um, if you are aligning with the fact that the people that are hiding behind the government are out of control, well, here's a party that's saying we bought this right now. So we are beginning to develop our stuff and setting up our new government through our political family. I would say we are the people family. So we're offering the restorative justice, we're offering the healing classes, we're offering the instructions on how to get reparations, how to get liberation, how to get freedom, how to correct your status. We're teachers. And for those that know Yahshua, known as Christ, he was a teacher and he taught the disciples how to do this. Watch me, now you try it. I'm gonna watch you, now you go do it. And that's what we're doing with We Are the People Party. We're not concerned about the election. There's 468 seats that are up for election in the 2024 campaign. We Are the People would love to have 300 people across the states that represent this freedom that we're talking about, this new government. That's what we would love. So, uh, and the point with our We Are the People, our platform in there is to restore America, restore Georgia, restore Philadelphia, restore Ohio. It's all about restoration because God has given us back everything that the enemy has stole from us. We get to go into the enemy's camp and the wealth of the wicked that's been stored up for the righteous. And I'm not talking about this fiat money. I'm talking about our souls prosperous and we begin to respect one another and love our neighbors because we know our neighbors, and bring this earth back to the way it was intended to be, that it talks about in the Declaration of Independence, nature's God and the creator, how it talks about in Genesis, in the beginning, God created. And so we are made in his image, and we have the ability, as we are the people, to create exactly what this was intended to be.
I love it. I have one question. Is it a way that we can join? We are the people. Like, how do we get inside of that? Because everything that you're saying, um, I'm with. I feel like we need a change. I feel like we need people to stand up that are not afraid. I feel like it's not about winning, okay? It's about winning, but winning amongst each other. What can we change in the process of a win? How is that something that we can join or look into? We are the people.
So right now, www.awj2024.com. That's my campaign website. And that's because that's what the budget said we could have right now. So as I like to tell people, the vision is bigger than the bank account, but do not be dismayed. We're not concerned with the whole imagery, because we're joined together because we're here now. And as we begin to organize the states, like Sunday I have a training on prison abolition that teaches people how to advocate for themselves. And then I just start sharing it. Like, I follow up with Meg and say, here's what we're doing. I'll reach out to you. And then I begin to organize it. Because one thing that I've learned is, whenever I walk according to nature's God, the spirit of the living God, he will supply all our needs according to his riches and glory. And right now we're in the times of Noah. We want to see a sign. We always want to see this. And I'm saying, I'm not worried about what I do or don't have right now in the natural, because I know all of this will manifest in the right time. We're gonna have that website up. It's gonna be nice. Our states are gonna be organized, and it's. I mean, if you ask Andy, we already organized in the states, because it was 30 states that I sued along with the United States. So all I gotta do is keep reaching out to the brothers behind these walls and sisters on these plantations, which we have, and we're organizing, and it's so beautiful. It's like painting a picture that you know what the end is gonna look like, and only you can see it. I'm like, wait, but as I talk to you, then other people begin to see it. And what I always say is that this is a movement that's not based on Andy, but this is a movement that's not gonna stop. This ain't like, you get to kill the leader or somebody gets snuffed out and it's over with. There's such a strong spirit moving right now of righteousness across the nation that you're not gonna be able to stop this. It's We're the Joshua generation. We are living in the promised land that was promised to our forefathers. It's not unstoppable.
Meg, put me on camera. Put me on the camera as I say this part. I What he just said, you guys, is over here. I'm on the inside. I'm listening to a person that is not afraid, not saying, "Hey, I'm it," but it's over here giving me chills throughout my body to see somebody to say we're standing. I'm gonna tag myself in for Georgia to say, "Hey, if you're on the AWJ 2024 and whatever we got to do, I'm standing up to do it." So I will tag myself as being it. I feel every bit of what he's saying. Like,
I agree. I
oh,
follow up on that so very much, and I'm in for Pennsylvania. Let's do this for
let's
real.
do
This has been a
this.
long time coming.
Oh,
It's needed. Yes, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
We are
Okay,
with you.
I just had to say that. You can take me off camera, but I'm over here on fire, listening to him on the inside with my soul. So thank you, Andy, for this. Thank you.
We we do have a very strong movement in Georgia. One of our chief of staffs is in Georgia. But I did talk with some brothers on the plantation in Georgia today, and I listen. I couldn't even respond to what they were saying. And I asked the brother, how long you been locked up? He said 30 years. And I only asked him that so when I told him I love him, I would know that he would be able to receive it. And as soon as I said I love you, brother, he said I love you back. Yeah, because his blueprint is so smooth on what they about to do, and to know that I have an ability to make a difference. Because one of the things we're doing in our campaign is we're about to sue the state of Florida, DeSantis and their voter disenfranchisement rules, because they're unconstitutional. They violate the 13th section 2 of the 13th Amendment and the 15th Amendment. And so anytime you say somebody cannot vote based on the position of them being a felon, that's unconstitutional. But for us, you can't vote freedom. It's something we were born with. So again, that's the sign that the people need, because we're in a generation of a society like that. But like I said, I've already won because I've been obedient to what I've been created to do. It's an assignment. So this is not like a job. It's not a stressful thing. It's just like, nothing like smooth sailing. That's it. And we're going to go and
Hey,
stroll right on up into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The same energy, the same vibration. We've got a new government, and this new government is by the people, for the people, of the people. We ain't worried about no security, because you can just call up and set up an appointment. We'll come to you. We following a lot of the model of what Jimmy Carter has laid the path to be a public servant, and that's where our heart is at.
I thank you. Anything, I mean, I thank you. I commend you. And I thank you because it's hard to get anyone to stand, and you're bold. You come out with it and say, hey, this is what I have against me, but this is also what I have in me. And
Hmm.
what I have in me is what's going to control this ship, not me. So he's saying, this is what I have against me, but this is who I have in me. And this is the purpose that he has for me. So he's on a purpose. I thank you for your purpose, because I'm on a purpose over here too. So I'm just set on fire. Like, yeah, they just don't know what's coming now. These
Yes.
Jericho walls are about to be torn down, and we're gonna
Hmm.
stand in the midst of it. And we've already won. You get what I'm saying? Because we're doing what it is that we was instructed to do and allowed to do. So no matter what we have to stand up against, we will. Is there anything else that you would like to tell them, Mr. Future President, before you, Mr. Already President? Like you already got your credentials. Anything you would like to talk to say before we leave today?
I would just say, anybody hearing this today, just love on yourself. Find some time to forgive yourself. Stop worrying about what you didn't do right, what happened that was wrong. Love on yourself today. Please do that today, y'all. Give yourself a hug. If ain't nobody else gonna do it, give yourself a hug. Tell yourself sorry, and say we're gonna get this right. And if you stumble 2 days from now, pick yourself back up again and keep on loving on yourself, because the power is in us. There's nothing greater than loving who you are, and every flaw that you would think that you have, accept it, love it, and run with it. So love yourself, people.
I'm gonna end it with the same people. Love yourself. Love yourself. Um,
Yes, thank you so
yeah,
much, Mr. President. I agree. I'm over here clapping the whole time. Thank you so
yeah.
much
You
for,
are excited.
talking to us tonight. You brought great vibes, and we are so excited for you. Any way that we can help, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. And Leslie followed up as well. She said, "Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Williams."
For sure. Well, I'm gonna be following up with y'all, because Georgia, I think sister over there can be a spokesperson for us, because she got the fire. And you, Miss Meg, with your bail stuff, I want to work with that. Just showing you, it's some stuff we can do right now to, like I said, there's a way that we can create the foundation we need for this campaign. It's for the people, like
Yes, and we just had someone today contact us out of Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, that their loved one has sat in jail for 2,547 days awaiting sentencing. So we're going to be talking to them in the coming weeks. So definitely tune in, to see your opinion. And you're definitely, you have a lot of legal savvy to not be an attorney. I was kind of waiting for, an attorney background, but I love it. Like what people don't understand is people that have been incarcerated, if they utilize the law library, they are so savvy, like I love it. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that I know how to do is habeas release. And that's one of the ways we're going to be able to support our campaign, because we're doing that type of work right now. And so that work that we're doing, that's how we support our campaign and get the word out, because we're not saying elect us and we're going to do this. We're the people, and we're coming after those that are captives. And that's it. I can tell you the fees that I charge. The only problem I'm gonna have is with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the lawyers. They're the only ones I'm gonna have, because they can't get over on the people no more. I got the blueprint. I got it.
And we're willing to walk it with you. You get what I'm saying? Because we're on it down here too. We've actually turned over an entire county and stood up against it. That was Clayton County. So standing up against anyone that's not standing for us, and that's what it is. And like I said, I don't do it with fear. I'm not afraid of man. I don't mind talking. I'll tell you in a minute. I don't mess with anyone that is right. But if you are wrong, if you are doing us wrong,
Right.
if your system is not for us, I'm definitely going to stand up against you. I don't have a problem with calling you out. Like, we're tired of it and we can't do it any longer. We won't do it any longer. And we got a power in us that you're not ready for. So
Yeah.
I see we had someone else to say. Michelle said, hey, I'm in my state. So she's another one. So you just let us know what we need to do. And we're definitely on this campaign
I
with you,
got you.
not behind you, like you say.
Yeah, yeah. I just got to know where y'all got people in states at, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll pull it together. And I feel by the time January comes, it's
We ready.
like,
We ready.
look, I'm finna file a criminal complaint against a judge, three judges and the prosecutor, and all we do is just file a complaint, then do a press release. File a complaint and do a press release. That's it. Because when we talk about government accountability, it's something that you have to know how to do. And I'll tell you this, a lot of people are biased towards that Republicans, but they have a thing called Project 2025 out, and it's free. It's like, go to the website, it's a 900-page booklet, and we're going to start teaching about that. Their platform is phenomenal. I kid you not. I sit on a couple boards with where I'm the chair of a board of Republicans, and what God has showed me is the very thing that I despised was the very thing that had what I needed.
And I found out that same thing. I'm so happy that you said that. Oh my
Mhm.
God. I think this state needed to hear that too. Because that I'm Democratic. I'm Democratic. I told my grandmother, I said, you set me up. She said, what do you mean? I said, y'all, did you told me to vote Democratic my whole life. And I thought I was a Democratic. And I realized upon meeting these people, I watched them all walk past us, and I've just seen nothing but like what. But when I met Republicans and got with the Republican, like, hold on, this a different type of thing. So thank you for
Yeah,
mentioning
no,
that.
they really the platform is, but what I would say is they are hearers of the word but not doers. And so in the sense that, which I truly appreciate you saying he was a spiritual man, because that's what that party from an organizational standpoint is lacking, is the spirit. Because in the Project 2025 they're talking about, we're going to create a Christian nation, but that's not what the Bible talks about, creating a Christian nation. It talks about seeking to save those which were lost. It's never talked about being a Christian. It said go out and make disciples, so that part is, where I feel like, a little bit of love in there can go with them. And the reason why I didn't become a part of a Republican Party, because that's not what God asked me to do. He said this is like the New Jerusalem. That's why it's a new government, because it's a New Jerusalem. So that's why we have a faith base and a community base, and it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So I just, again, I'm grateful to be on the show. Are we still recording?
Yes, we
We
are. We've gone over because we it's somebody else in the midst of this, but so we've gone over. But yeah, we are still recording. They
Y'all
are
got.
still watching. Yeah, and
Oh,
we're about to end it shortly.
I thought we was over. That's why I was talking so much.
No, I was
No,
talking
you're
so much. So
good.
yeah, yeah, you had me over here going.
We're over here taking notes and stuff. Shoot.
Well, take this note then, because this is what I was gonna say. I thought we was off.
Okay.
Um, you guys asked for a donation, and like, yo, real talk, G, I did not have it that day. That's why I was like, wait till Tuesday. And that day, uh, my wife said, man, I don't have some money or something. And G, I got on the phone and was like, hey, hey, hey. And gee, I got that money and I was so happy. I was so happy, you know. And that's the part when you really got to trust God.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And did you? I didn't get to speak to you on that one, but I'll speak to Meg about that and see. But I thank you so much. And you, if there's anything like you said that you need help with, ask us. Just ask us. Is it anything that you need help with? And let us know because we're in. Okay. So I thank you so much for joining,
Nope.
and we'll go ahead and Meg, you ready to put us out?
Yes, ma'am. Are we going to do it the way we usually do?
Yeah, we can end it that way with the song. And thank you for joining, Mr. Anson. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Tell me how you gonna act like these black lives don't matter. Like that could have been your sister or your brother. I was trying to tell you to hold on. Hold on.